Hey everyone, and welcome to the Human Design Podcast with me, your host, Emma Dunwoody. I'm a qualified master coach and human behaviour specialist, as well as being a qualified human design coach. And I work with clients every single day to answer the big questions. Who am I? Why am I here? And what is my purpose? I also assist them to transition from the person they think they should be to the person they really are on the inside. I teach people how to actually live their design instead of just knowing it. And if this is something that you want to do too, well, stay tuned or reach out for private coaching or Human Design Unpacks, where I show you exactly how to live your design. Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Human Design Podcast. Before we get into today's episode, I want to share something really amazing with you. And it's actually one of our new Millions of Millionaires sponsors. So to introduce this body graph chart software that we've been using that's been mind-blowing. So I want to welcome the amazing Taylor Giacin, who is my incredible operations manager. Welcome along, Taylor.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here. This is actually something that we implemented when?
April.
Yeah.
And this year.
We were just trialing it out because they'd reached out to us in regards to sponsoring the podcast or something like that, wasn't it? And so it kind of wasn't even on our radar. And we tried it out and we had such low expectations. And then what happened?
Well, I remember sending you a message going, Emma, why are we not using this? Because I was mind blown. You know, we get a lot of requests for stuff like that. And, you know, there's new softwares all the time. And I clicked on it, like you said, with very low expectations. And I started looking through what they can do. And I got so excited. You know, the MG in me was like, oh my God, we have to use this. And I saw the potential of it. And it has delivered more than expected. It's really awesome.
Amazing. Now, before we get into the actual numbers, because I know numbers with Taylor is a thing in our business. She loves to share all the numbers. Let's just tell the listeners exactly who it's for and what it is.
Yeah, so it's a great tool for anyone who uses human design in their business. So if you're a human design reader, a human design coach, or just someone who uses human design in your business, if you incorporate it into whatever you do, it's a way for you to embed an actual human design chart tool into your website. So, you know, if you want someone to get their human design chart, you probably send them to an outside platform somewhere, go to this website, put in your details and get your chart, whatever that platform might be. There's a couple big ones. And what's cool about this is that it allows you to put that tool on your own website and it's yours. So when someone comes and, puts their information into your website, they get their chart, and then you can hook it up to your email list, to your newsletter. You can have it linked to your own content. You can customize the reports afterwards that they get, so it's your own descriptions of what, this type is or this profile. So that's kind of what it is.
Oh my God, I love it. And it's so cool because I actually remember when Jenna Zoe, because it must be the same software that Jenna Zoe used and before anyone else. Yeah, right. And I was always like, wow, her chart looks so beautiful and it's on her website. That's so cool. So yeah, when we started using it, I was like, this is beautiful. I'm really excited that we can do it. But let's talk hard numbers. Like we have had some serious success with this, just adding this to our business. So tell everyone a little bit about the growth that we've experienced through using this.
Yeah. So since implementing it into our website in April, there have been over 4,000 people that have downloaded their chart through the website. And that's unique. That's not, someone who does it twice, because a lot of people, they'll go back because they won't download the PDF or something, or they lost it or misplaced it. That's unique. Chart downloads. So it's even more for people doing it twice. And it's been really amazing. It's more than tripled the size of the email list. And, you can set up sequences afterwards for people to, give them more information and keep everything in-house.
Yeah. And because one of the really big things for us is obviously human design made simple. So it gives us the opportunity to give our way of teaching human design directly to the people who want it. And I love that. I love that every single person that wants to get their chart, that downloads it, we can then support them on their journey straight away, which is, of course, what you set up, because you're amazing, to make sure that not only do they get their chart, but they also get this support, free content support that helps them as they're new to human design and on their journey. So beautiful. So how do people access this? What's it called? And I know that there's a benefit for listeners of the podcast.
Yes. So you can go to the link in the show notes, or you can go to bodygraphchart.com. And they have been kind enough to give the listeners of the Human Design Podcast a 50% off discount for 12 months, which is huge because it's already inexpensive to begin with. And then the 50% discount is going to put it at $25 a month. That's in US dollars. So wherever you are in the world, it'll be, a little bit different, but 50% off for 12 months. And the code is Human Design Podcast. And we'll put that in the show notes too for everyone. And one of the other things I want to say that's really cool about this chart tool is that it's 100% customizable, and it actually gives Chiron and the 4 arrows, which is what a lot of chart tools don't do that. So that's one thing that a lot of people are drawn to when they go to get our chart from our website is, oh, I can get the arrows because of it, or my Chiron gates.
I love that. It's so cool. So check out the show notes, people. Get on it, because really it is such a powerful and, as Taylor says, inexpensive tool. Like, it paid for itself in the first 2 days, I seem to remember, or first day, I seem to remember. So it's so valuable, and it gives you the opportunity to really build your brand and your communication with your clients. So thank you. Go check it out. Hey, everyone, and welcome to the next episode in the Profile Lines podcast series. I'm super excited. For those of you that are watching the video on YouTube, you're going to see that there is an awesome human sitting next to me. Welcome, Taylor.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited because Taylor is here in Australia. For those of you that don't know, Taylor is my Taylor Giacin. I should actually I never use your surname because I'm always afraid I'm going to pronounce it wrong, which is hilarious. Is my absolute rock star operations manager. So anyone who has had almost anything to do with me has actually also had something to do with Taylor. So, and today we're here to talk about being a line 5, because I am a 3-5. And of course, Taylor, do you want to introduce your profile, or at least your human design for the listeners, please?
Of course. I'm a 5-1 manifesting generator, sacral authority. Beautiful.
So of course, we're here to talk about being a line 5. My line 5 is unconscious. Taylor's is conscious. And I suppose I want to really, we actually had the line 5 panel in HDX this week, and it was just mind blowing. Even after being in my experiment for 7 years, I was like, oh, wow, like so many things that everyone was saying like really hit home. And I think sometimes being a line 5, we can be that superhero, but there also can be a real, we feel like we need to carry quite the burden, or at least our conditioning would have us think that. So we're going to dive into a couple of those things. For those of you that might be new to human design, what is a line 5? Well, the line 5 is the line that's sort of referred to as the savior, the superhero, the healer, the problem solver. We have what they call a projection field. And for the line 5, it's different to the line 2. The line 2's projection field, it kind of goes inwards, and people project onto them when their energy is ready to come out into the world. For us, people actually project their wounds onto us. So we might be accused of things that come very left field, or people see things in us that we don't really know that we don't believe is in us. And that's because we are this mirror. We're this mirror to the world. And I know even growing up, I remember both my parents would kind of project whatever was going on in their relationship onto me. I would always say, like, I felt like Piggy in the middle. The line 5 is also very much a problem solver. Your aura knows, or at least the people around you know energetically. I mean, it's not like they're thinking about it, but energetically they know that you have this power to be able to solve and fix and heal and help. So oftentimes we have to really create some quite important boundaries. So I kind of want to dive into this. One of the big pieces for the line 5 is we really want to be liked. So one of the challenges is that in that need to be liked, we have to become aware that we probably don't have boundaries, and we're probably trying to live up to everyone else's expectations. So I don't know, Taylor, do you want to talk a little bit about expectations? I know that this is one of the things that we talked at length about, and growing up and maybe even now, do you want to talk about, did you feel like other people would expect great things of you or a lot of you, and then how did that make you feel, and what's that journey with expectations been like for you?
Yeah, definitely. Expectation was a huge thing for me. And starting with growing up, I always felt like there were huge expectations on me and a lot of pressures to perform. And I think that those around me saw my potential and the things that I could do for them, being the line 5 and also just being an MG, being like an Energizer bunny. When you combine the two, it's like,
yep,
hello, superhero,
yeah.
come over here and help me with this. And I think somewhere along the way in conditioning, as what I think is with a lot of line 5s, I learned that my value is in my doing and not in my being. And so that expectation, carried into my adulthood. And I think I entered most relationships thinking that the expectation was that I was there to fix or solve all of the problems.
Yeah.
And that I wasn't there just to be a friend or a child or whatever the relationship was, or, an employee. It wasn't just about my being and my value. It was more about like, what can you do for me? And you're here to solve all the problems. And I thought that I had to. That was the thing.
Yeah, I love that. And I totally resonate with that. I even remember being, like as a teenager, being the one that fixed all the problems or the infighting within the group. And then all of a sudden being the one that everyone else was pissed off at. And I'm like, hang on a second, you two were bitching at each other. It had nothing to do with me. But yeah, like kind of get dragged into things. I would go willingly. I will take responsibility. But yeah, very, very similar to that. Like I kind of felt like it was my responsibility. And I knew from a very young age that I had an ability to, whether it was like, not so much keep the peace, but solve the problem. I always knew that, if there was a crisis, I used to say this all the time, like if there's a crisis, I'm your girl, like that, I'm the person that you want to have around. And the line 5 very much is very good in those sort of situations when a crisis arises. It's like, you've often heard me talk about me having this undefined head and ajna and being like, poof, or a messy head or whatever, but under a crisis sort of situation, all of a sudden everything just goes calm for me and it just works. And I think one of the things that is also really big for the line 5 is, of course, the like living up to our own expectations. I think that was something for me. I felt like it was actually my son, and I'm going to say it was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And it wouldn't have been that long because anyway, when I first started to surf, and I was like, I said to him, maybe I should go and do maybe I should just practice and maybe do the masters, like go and do this competition. And he just looked at me and he was like, why wouldn't you just do it for fun, Mum? And I remember thinking, oh shit, like that's an option. I almost didn't realize it was an option, like I had been so used to these expectations being put on me that I'd just taken them on and boom, like then everything was like, well, if I'm going to do it, I have to be good at it. Which is, by the way, really lucky that he said that because I'm really shit at surfing, but I love it. And I want to talk about the next piece, I suppose, is that I really want to talk about because it was one of the reels on Instagram that I think I got the most feedback for. And when I was doing the line number reels, I did a little voiceover for each of them. And the line 5 one was really all about, we love to support you. We love to listen. We love to help you. We want to be there for you. However, can you please just give us that time, give us that attention too, give us that support as well. Because as a line 5, it can feel really lonely. I know, and I joke a lot about it now, but when I moved out of home, in fact, it wasn't moving out of home, when I was moving in with a different friend, we literally moved in together and I wish I'd known our design back then, that was a long time ago, but because she was always there for everybody and I was always there for everybody, but no one ever listened to us. So we joked for ages because we worked together, we should move in together because then we'd finally have someone to listen to us. And that's exactly what happened. We'd come home, we'd put our Ugg boots on and we'd literally just listen to each other in their day. So I think that that's a large piece of being a line 5 as well, like helping to educate those around us and making sure that we're supporting ourselves with people that know that about us. But do you want to talk a little bit to your journey of this and how being a line 5 can feel a bit lonely because you're that person that is always there for everyone else. But oftentimes, until we wake up and we wake up to our own self-worth and that we can have boundaries and that we deserve the same in return, that sometimes that journey, like, it kind of can smack us in the face a few times before we get it. Do you want to talk a little bit to that?
Yeah, 100%. And what you said at the end is super powerful about it's really a journey of learning to ask for what you need. Because I think that's the whole like victimhood piece about it, is as a line 5, you're always there for everyone and no one's holding the same space for you. And it can kind of feel like, well, when's it my turn?
Yeah.
You know, poor me, I'm not getting the same support that I'm giving everyone else. But it's a journey of learning boundaries and then asking for the support that you want, instead of internalizing it and being like, oh, well, nobody cares about me. That's been my biggest lesson within it, is like, people aren't mind readers yet.
Yeah.
Telepathy is on the rise, but
Yeah.
we have to ask for what we need and almost demand the kind of support that we want in return for all that we give.
That is so true. Absolutely. So true. And I really love there's this piece, like, we have to learn to ask for what we need, and I think the line 5 can just live in that victim state. And it is the journey of the line 5. Let me be clear. If you have a line 5, you want to get super honest with yourself, because at some point, to become the hero, to become the one that wants to have the power, the impact, the leadership, it has to come from this place of waking up from victimhood. I mean, I look at my journey, my mental health journey, and I was absolutely stuck in victimhood. And I would look to everyone else. Why does it work for everyone else? Why is everyone else better? Why is this? Why is that? Why is this happening to me? And it's like that ultimate victimhood. However, the moment I started to wake up, I didn't even have to like get it all. The moment I could get those little pieces of, hang on a second, I have the power. Then everything shifted and changed, everything evolved. And that's when I really stepped into the power of my line 5. So this is also that piece, like, just be aware that there is a part of you, and all humans are going to be on this journey at some point, but it's actually super important for the line 5 because it's that healing piece. The line 5 is here to help others heal. What advice would you give to parents of a line 5?
Yeah. For that, I would say most importantly, I think I want to say 2 things because I can't pick just one. NG energy.
Of course.
The first one is to listen to them, like actually ask them how they're doing. Take the time to hold space for them and ask, like, how was your day? How are you doing? How are you feeling? Do you want to talk about anything? Is there anything that you need? And really giving that listening energy without then feeling the need to control the situation or try and like fix it or overtake. And then the other one is just to let them be human and imperfect, because I think that helps with the whole, your value being put in your doing instead of your being. If you're allowed to feel like you're allowed to be imperfect and make mistakes, then there's not so much of the conditioning around the expectation is that I need to be perfect and all of those other things. Yeah,
it's so true. We had a big discussion about perfectionism in the panel. And you'll be able to buy that whole thing. It's there for you to go and buy if you want to. If you're curious about being a line 5, that's what you need to look for. I think that's so important. And the other piece that I just want to add is, like, remember that if there's a line 5 in your household and as a line 5 in a relationship, one of the girls in the group, Nicole, made such a great point. Like, you want to have this discussion, especially with your partner, let's say, if you're a line 5, and not in the heat of the moment, just being aware, like, you just need to understand that you're going to project your stuff onto me, and I know that it's been a massive journey for me where I actually was like, God, I genuinely always thought it was me. I thought I was the one that was in the wrong. I was the one making the mistake. I was always focused on fixing me. And then the whole line 5 thing, I'm like, holy crap, it's just being, because it had always felt like it wasn't me. It had felt like it was being projected onto me. But being a diligent personal development, seeker, journeyer, whatever the word is, I was always so like, okay, it must be me. It's me. I can take back my power. So I think the first thing is to have that conversation, whether it's your partner or those close to you. Have the conversation before you're in the heat of a challenging conversation. And then the other thing I want to say about parenting is make sure that you're aware that you're projecting your stuff onto your line 5 kids. Because I think that's the biggest piece. Being a line 5 for me, like, I grew up really, really fast. And I'm so sure because I felt like I was, inverted commas, solving adult problems from a young age, thinking they were mine, but they actually weren't mine. So that would be what I would love to throw into the ring. Is there anything else you want to add to being a line 5?
I think just that, like you said, being aware that people are going to project their stuff onto you and controlling how you react to it. Because I think that's the biggest thing, is that I know for so long for me, I wanted to isolate and shut down, like almost shut down that part of me, but it's a part of your aura. You really can't shut it down.
I tried to.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, so did I for a long time. I think it's, an acceptance thing, coming to acceptance that is, part of your superpower, and controlling your reaction to it, because that's it. Because you can't control other people, but you can choose how you want to respond.
Yeah, I love that. And just to sort of go on from that as well, like, it is a superpower, like, it's a fucking superpower. So you need to treat it with that respect. You need to treat that ability that you have, like, we've just been joking. We had so much to get through this week, and especially while Taylor's out here in Australia. And it felt really daunting because I had a massive week. I had lots on, and literally we smashed it. And the first thing, I said to Taylor, God, that was quick. And she's just like, of course, that's the line 5 MG, right? So really making sure that you're valuing this superpower that you have, because you're on the planet to use this to lead, to change lives, to do all those things, to have a big impact. Yep, that's all the line 5 stuff. But making sure you're not getting caught up in the needing to be liked, or well, I just have to do all the things for everybody else, so then I feel like I'm not going to get rejected, or being the victim. These are all the things that are going to hold you back from that greatness that really lies within you. So that's all from us. If you want to learn more, you know what to do. Either go to HDX or go check out the links for the Being a Line 5 in the show notes. And yeah, that's all for me. Thanks for being with me, Taylor.
Thanks for having me right next to you.
I love it. Just stay forever, yeah?
I will.
I love it. Thanks, everyone. And I look forward to having you or seeing you on the next podcast. Bye for now. Thanks, everyone, for being here all the way to the end of the podcast. I hope you got lots of value out of it. I certainly had a lot of fun doing it. Could I please ask that you share this podcast with friends if you found it valuable? And also, bonus points, could you leave a review for me as well on Apple? It would be greatly appreciated. If at any point you would like to be on the podcast, or you've got questions that you'd like me to discuss on the podcast, by all means, get on my socials and DM me. Everything you need is there in the show notes. Have an awesome day. Bye for now.